Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESL One Battlefield 4 Fall Finals for 2014. That's right, it's day 2 of 2, which can only mean one thing. That's right, it's Championship Sunday, the tie is out, and we're ready to crown another champion in Battlefield 4 in 2014. Our 4th and final event of the year. 120,000 euros given away in prize money alone. And of course, what they really want, the teams really want this weekend, is to win the final championship. Yesterday, we saw some terrific matches, some surprise results as well. The Australians were on form as they came through to fight out in the elimination game today. And in Group A, of course, we saw Epsilon, well, kind of cruising through in the end, and Fnatic in Group B going through to the semi-finals already. Today, we'll concentrate on the 2 elimination games left in both Group A and Group B, and we'll move on to the semi-finals, and then the best of 5 grand final to crown our final champion of 2014. To discuss the elimination matches, over at the expert desk, waiting for me is the one and only Lauren, who's turned up early today. Thought I'd get that one in there
thanks
now.
For that
Hey,
one. Nice.
How you doing?
Pretty good, right? Yeah. Looking forward to another day of Battlefield.
Should be good. Yesterday, if we take a look at the 8 teams that took part in this group stage, we always said that Group A was the easier group, but actually it didn't really turn out that way because, you know, we saw a little bit of surprise in there and some players and teams that maybe we didn't think we're going to make it through, and some teams that we thought might prove a little bit of an upset. MHSV, obviously, they've gone. Yeah. A little bit shocking considering they were great online. In Group B, it's actually Planet Key Dynamics that have gone out. We always talk about them as the perennial underdog, sure, but always the team that we go, no, they can't possibly get through to the semi-finals, and they do almost every season, but not this year, despite the fact they've got Safe in the team. I thought they would have performed better.
You'd think it'd work out all in all, but something just didn't click. The communication was lacking. We heard it when you listened in on the TeamSpeak. It just didn't work with them, sadly, and as you said, they've gone home.
They have. That was in Group B. If we take a look at Group A's bracket now, the Australians yesterday set some records. Let's just go over that because, you know, they had a great day. Lost their opening game, of course, to MYM, which they'll now have to face. We'll talk about that match in a moment. But beating MHSV became the first time an Australian team had won a match, first time an Australian team had won a match at ESL One, first team to make it to day 2 as well. So they've set a lot of records. Presumably they'll go home happy regardless. But I think now they're here, you know, playing MYM, they want to win this now.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? In theory, it's great that they've come this far, but they're a competitive team. No one wants to go home just scraping through. Everyone's got a little bit further, and they're proving people wrong with every step they take. So another win under their belt would be phenomenal. Yeah, it
would be phenomenal. Let's take a look at their lineup. The players themselves, they've had an extraordinary run. Yesterday we interviewed the team captain, and Poto said, it's incredible that we've come this far, considering that we're not really a full team. Yeah. We've got players that have never played on a LAN, ever, let alone travelled outside of Australia 15,000 kilometres to get to Europe, and they performed as well as they did yesterday. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, and to add to that, they went back to the hotel last night, they did extra work, they watched the VODs back, they watched what they'd done and tried to improve. They had flaws, don't get me wrong, but they're things that can be worked out, and if they've done that, MYM might need to pay a little bit more attention than expected.
Yeah, turning our attention to MYM, they've had an interesting season overall. Haven't won any of the tournaments as they usually do, figure it there or thereabouts all the time, sure. And the same when we think back all the way to season 1 at the start of 2014, they were the champions, of course, that season. Big man behind that was Safe. He was the talisman of the team, the vocal man, the man that shouted his name and, you know, really roared them to victory, if you like. Yeah. Now, without him, they're a slightly different team. The lineup they have with Seo in, who played obviously as a fill-in, a stand-in for Waffy, is now full-time in the team. Waffy's now come back as well. How do you assess them as a team now compared to where they were maybe 6 months ago?
It's a hard question because they are still a very good side, but do they have that extra 10, 20% that they used to that you could argue Safe maybe gave them vocally? It's, you know, it's that small margins that make a team great, and do they still have that to give? I'm not sure. They played good, but maybe not as great as they used to be.
In terms of the way these two stack up against each other, they've played once already, so we have some form to look at, and it was to be honest, it was a stop yesterday, 2-0. You could argue that, you know, the Australian guys were fresh to this and it was a bit of a shock to the system, and they got their act together later on in the day. They've studied them, they've watched the videos back, they know how they're going to play against them. What is the key factor that might see Legionnaires overcome MYM?
Smart map picks is one of them. Playing in their comfort zone rather than giving MYM their choices. And also being aware of MYM's playstyle. They're quite a unique team in a way that they do everything pretty well. So if you can exceed in one of the fields they're just good at, you might have a chance, but it's hard to push them towards those limits. They're still a well-rounded team. So it's a tough one.
Okay, and we've got 2 men at the top at the moment of the prediction standings.
Yeah.
They're not on 100%. Both got one wrong yesterday. They're on 88%. But help out the throng behind them with a prediction. Are we going with the safe bet, which is MYM, or maybe the outlandish bet, which would be Legionnaires?
I'd say wait till the map picks come up, see what you see if you feel comfortable with it. I think that if Legionnaires maybe get some of the maps that they played previously, they've been able to focus on, then you might see them bringing out something. If MYM take that away from them, you're not sure what you're going to get. So I'd say if it's something completely new, look at MYM. If it's not, maybe Legionnaires.
Okay, well, some solid advice from Pansy there. You can carry on with the predictions. If you haven't played before, you can still take part. But if you've been playing yesterday, then you'll definitely want to be playing again today. Go to esl.com/battlefield and make sure your predictions are filled out for the 2 early games today. And then the semi-finals and the grand final. There is a prize to be won as well. It's at the bottom of the page. All the details are on the website. Time now for our first game of the day. It's elimination time for MYM and Legionnaires, which means we go over to our commentary desk where Alex and Jason are waiting.
It's going to be a really tough battle for both Legionnaires and MYM going into this one. For me personally, I think this is going to be the ultimate test for Legionnaires. They've had their skill tested yesterday. I think it was a real challenge for them to get as far as they have already, and respect to them for getting where they have already. But I mean, MYM is a whole different kettle of fish, and I don't know how well they're going to fare up against them. Jason, any thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be a stomp. I think it's going to be a big stomp here. I mean,
don't sugarcoat it.
You know, I will give. Okay, I will take that back actually, because yeah, it was a really big landslide for Mutual Makers yesterday. It was 85 tickets on Dawnbreaker, 96 on Operation Locker. But one thing we did see Legionnaires do yesterday that Mutual Makers didn't was they were sitting here playing all day. Yeah, they played the entire show.
Yeah, you're right.
And they played after we even left. So they've been practicing up, trying to obviously catch some teams off guard here, and we're going to have our list of maps coming in already too.
Wow, hello, that was a swift choice. It's nice to see both teams knowing what they want to eliminate, whether that was that preparation Lauren was mentioning about, or perhaps they knew what they wanted from the start. Still, Zavod, Operation Locker, and Siege of Shanghai are your 3.
All right, well, looking back to the maps that they played yesterday, I think I mentioned it was Dawnbreaker and Operation Locker, so we'll have Locker as a second map yet again here. Mutual Makers has always been such a strong team on Zavod here, so I'm a little bit worried for them. Obviously, Infinity Garden was taken away since they had such a good performance against MHSV on it yesterday. But now, I mean, they have to really come up big when it counts, and I don't know if they're going to be able to really match Mutual Makers here on 2 of the maps that Mutual Makers are kind of known for.
Yeah, MYM. When I talk about Locker, I just think about punch roll, doing damage, but I mean Zavod as well. That's where I start looking at the entire lineup. I mean, Seo is another name that kind of comes to me. Ducky Chan. On a map like Zavod, where you have to be so, well, you have to be so well communicated. It has so many quick rotates, especially between that B and C site. And last time we saw Legionnaires on this map, we saw them already. And it didn't go too well. Obviously, MYM and Legionnaires have met. That was the first game we ever played. We didn't play, we casted. But regardless, we saw them on Locker already. So the two of the 3 maps were picked before in the first game with MYM and Legionnaires met. So they picked Locker and Siege. So the only new one is Zavod.
Yeah, very true. And we're going to see it as our first real pickup here. And obviously with Legionnaires choosing that map first, they're feeling pretty confident on it. I guess they kind of feel a little bit down yesterday considering what happened when they played against the Mutual Makers on Locker. That was just such a one-sided game. Is actually one of our biggest scorelines that we had.
Yeah, it was probably top 3.
It was pretty damn big. It definitely was. And now, I'm going to say coming into the map here, I'm trying to think about what they can do a little bit differently this time. It's going to come down to, I think, who can just out-aim the other. If Legionnaires can keep up with the Mutual Makers train.
It's gonna be interesting. We have that 20-second countdown though, guys, and so before we do jump on into this one, let's do a quick roster rundown. We'll walk you through who's on the Legionnaires side. These fresh faces you haven't quite seen before. We have Cryptic, Puto, Chus, Horizon, and Wigan, and over on the MYM side of things, Ducky, Seo, Punchroll, Flax, and Waffy. No strangers there. Jason, with 5 seconds left, why don't you walk us through what we're gonna see as we go into the opening?
I'm excited a big fight at that D flag yet again. Send 3 from each team, probably go over there. 1 to cap A on the side of Legionnaires, 1 to cap C on the side of Mutual Makers. And then actually, MYM sending 4 men outside though, looking for maybe a big contest here to break things off with.
Here we go. It's going to be a 3v3 actually, as one man just darts off towards that middle area, going to be using that to his full advantage. I'm on board with Flax as he's trying to get a pick. He's under pressure from mid. It's actually that mid player who's doing a lot of work. It was Wigan. He's turned around, though. He'd kind of given up on the B flag. Horizon's kind of dropped in from the frying pan into the fire as he's dropped pretty much alone. Warrior trying to defend this one. He goes down eventually. MYM stacking the numbers quite nicely. Didn't cost him too many tickets. In the meantime, Legionnaires looking towards that C site.
Yeah, Puncher had a really good flank coming in for the backside. Came in through the pipeline area. Was able to pick up a kill on a Chust and was able to push around and get a little bit of a flank in there as well. So they do secure the B flag. He's actually falling back towards the C flag to stop this push from coming in. And Wigan, he's trying to charge right in here, but he's got so many meta Beach Makers to prevent him from actually making his way through.
Oof, going down every time they try and make it way into the C site. It's just not happening for them. Just trying to change that, though. He is around that C flag, gets one, not going to get another. And it's immediately, you see MYM starting to already push hard on the wound they have created. It's a trip cap. You can see it's all lighting up red. Horizon's going to change that as he charges towards his A site, heading towards that assembly, trying to catch off Punchroll. Punchroll says no, though. He gets the frag back, and Just still trying to pick up the pieces as Wigan's the man to pick up the frag finally. But that is a trip cap, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
Say's going to try to prevent it from being capped, but he actually gets a kill on the man flanking around him. He's actually going to take care of every single person that was at that A flag. There's not even trying to cap it right now on the side of Legionnaires. And this is a big mistake. They're heading towards C, though. It looks like they might get shut down.
It's only really Puto. He's kind of in a... They just seem so uncoordinated. It was Crip and Puto who pushed it. Looks like the two-man squad that pushed up towards A was a lot more successful than their C push. It was just one man to defend it on that window. He hasn't got down yet. Sayo just playing the waiting game. He's actually been caught out once too many. He's going to have to leave that site. He's going to actually go down. He was trying to keep his presence. Was all it needed, really, just to kind of delay that site cap. But now Wigan's in a similar situation to Sayo. He's going to have to play it pretty cautiously as three men are on the prowl. Flax has got the spot and the frag, shuts him down. In the meantime, we're seeing a 1v1 on that B site. Poto dancing around, does go down, closes off that. And once again, the B site is going to open up for a trip cap.
Well, from the earlier trip cap that kind of kicked the game off with, we had about 23 tickets bleed away from the side of Legionnaires. You can see it's now about a 50-ticket lead here from Future Makers. They still have the tri-cap. There's even a push coming out onto that C flag, which is being shut down by Flax, who's been honestly phenomenal this game. He even shut down a push earlier on when we saw that four-man squad of Legionnaires hit that C flag. And he's now at 7-2 here already in this game. And the A flag might finally be broken here by Horizon, but Punchrill's still there to stop it.
You said a stomp, and with MYM losing only 7 tickets, this preparation has not been as effective as it possibly could have been. Legionnaires, they have made their way towards C, though, and this is where they need to make a change. They need to make a change now before that ticket lead becomes insurmountable. Nade from Chust going to be trying to slow down the Sayo push, and it has done just that, but it's not stopped him turning around and putting a bullet into Horizon. Gets the headshot. And in the meantime, the A site has been captured over by Flex and Punchroll. Those two seem to be sticking together in this one, and it's working. The AB hold, it's not something MYM has actually had too much of because they've been so happy with the triple, but it looks like finally Legionnaires are making a move for B. Something they should have done a long time ago, I'd say. Ducky
Chan's still there, though. He's kind of just waiting for him to cap it over, then potentially lead towards that C flag yet again. He even might push in from the backside here, looking for a couple of kills.
He gets one, looking for a second as well. He's got the spot. His teammate's doing great work with that. Just means he can put bullets through the greenery. Doesn't have to spray or aim, sorry, too hard. Just aim for that triangle. Doesn't manage to connect the bullets on the defensive player on B, though. And actually, it looks like they're stacking up players quite nicely. It's going to be a 2v2. Sayo quite easily going to walk on in, secure that one. And once again, Legionnaires dropped into these random respawns because they haven't got one site. Trip cap's coming in, and look at that bleed.
This is really looking bad for them. This is looking worse than we saw yesterday. Maybe Beachmakers needed a day to warm up as well. Maybe their strategy plans from yesterday, at least from last night, really proven to be effective here. And right now, Legionnaires are trying to push in towards a flag, but every time they do, they get shut down completely. They haven't had a 5-man push anymore. They need to get one flag, just anything, just to kind of slow the bleeding down here. But every time they push in through, someone's always there to shut them down.
Yeah, it does seem to be a case of everything that they throw at MYM, they have an answer for. MYM unfazed by Legionnaires' positioning, unfazed by this kind of 2-3-man pushes that seems to be all that Legionnaires have. They don't have much in their arsenal. They don't have much variation. It's very much just 3 of you go here, 2 of you go here. If you get it, good. And it's only, I mean, it's happened a couple of times. They have managed to pick up the B site on the odd occasion, but that's usually MYM slipping up instead of Legionnaires surprising MYM. And so that seems to be the case. As it's 130-27, I'm starting to worry for Legionnaires.
And if you look at the kills alone, it's 43-20 right now, 44-20. I mean, again, it's not, you know, say it too much, but it's back to FPS 101. Like, if you can't win out on these 1v1 fights, then you're not really going to have a chance to cap these flags over and really kind of get any sort of run going. But either way, they've been able to pick up A and C, so they finally have a 2-cap. But there's no one even there defending A. There's one man defending C here, but obviously the side of Beachmakers isn't even attacking that here just yet. Flags looking to pick up a kill or two. He still has 2 more men there to stop him.
And they're trying their very best. Legionnaires, they're stacking their numbers. You can see every time they want to push a site, they're forcing themselves to throw. I mean, it's 3, 4 members. And when they do that, we just see these two, Cryptic and Wigan, forced to go into defensive mode, turtle mode, on that C flag. And it really doesn't work at the moment. Legionnaires, they need to change their strategy, and they need to do it now.
Well, they finally broke through the B flag here, but there's still Punchro in front of him, Ducky Chan behind him, and I think Puto has spotted out Ducky Chan.
He's trying to find him, looks for the hip fire. It's a tough weapon, he does have the CZ, he's one of the best hip fires actually within the game, but still a risk, and it didn't quite pay off. He goes down, Shuss is there to fill his shoes though, as this 1v1 on that B flag goes on. You can see 3 men, or make it just 2, Horizon and Wigan, heading for that A flag.
Well, unfortunately, only be one of them right now as Wappy does pick up the kill onto, I believe, Horizon, or Wigan it was right there. And in the meantime, B flag still being contested here, but Horizon looks like he should be able to cap this over, at least neutralize it. As they do pick up the kill on the Waffy, and they will secure an A flag. So they'll pick up actually A and B, trading around the 2 cap they had from C and B to A and B. And this is typical Meteor Makers. Like, they have a strong lead. They looked unstoppable in this game, and yet they let it slip towards the end, and they're losing the big lead.
Yeah, and the big lead needs to get a lot smaller. 106, no matter how, I mean, however you slice it, I mean, unless that gets beneath 80, even 70, Legionnaires are going to have to start looking towards map 2, because this is going to be such an almost insurmountable amount. Unless, of course, they step up their game leaps and bounds. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Legionnaires are still giving it their all. Perhaps this isn't their map, but the worry I have is the 2 maps that they played prior to this were, sorry, the 2 maps they play after this are the 2 maps that they've already played against MYM and lost.
And that is going to be a real big roadblock in their head. Having to think about that. We already lost these guys. But, I mean, actually, no, let's say this. It might be a roadblock in their head saying we already lost to them once on it, but they also have the experience of playing that team on those maps now. So as long as they prepared for it coming into today, then they should, you know, do a little bit or a lot better, hopefully, for their sake.
But, I mean, the question I need to raise, and it's a worry for me, is maybe MYM eliminated, but if not, why did Legionnaires not look for one of those new maps? Why do they not look towards Lumpini, not look towards Propaganda? We know that these guys are really good on those maps.
I believe MYM banned or vetoed those.
What, both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so MYM, well, that would explain it then. I know that they were very much one of the stronger teams on those new maps, and MYM probably well aware of that. That was their research they did. But as time's still ticking away on that 7.5 minute mark, only 7 tickets as well across the board. We nearly had a full 7. We had 7 to 77 at 7 minutes. That was quite impressive. But still, A and C now flying for Meteor Makers. No surprises as the last couple of tickets are going to bleed away in this first half. It's going to be around that 76 mark. I think it's in fact going to be 76 is that precedent. And they brought that number lower. It was 106 when they had 10. Down to 70. That's a good job from Legionnaires. Can they work off that? And
this is a small lead that MYM has been able to pick up against Legionnaires, considering their match yesterday. I mean, we had a score, I think it was 96 and 85, so not bad. Obviously showing some improvement here, but they still have their work cut out for them coming to the second half. We have Crip at 12 and 15, Wigan at 11 and 11. Over on the other side, Flax at 16 and 10, Sayo at 15 and 10, Punchro at 10-7, and Ducky Chan sitting at 12 and 5 as well. So everyone with almost flawless KDAs right now on the side of Meteor Makers.
Yeah, MYM not really playing, not playing too badly. I mean, big credit to Flax, actually, someone we haven't seen at the top of the scoreboard so often. I've always said he's a kind of consistent player, but that was he's breaking his consistency and going one step higher to that 16 frags and alongside Sayo at 15. So big plays from MYM as individuals, as you already said, but I do think Legionnaires need to do something a little different. I don't know. Well, I do know what it is. It's pushing sites with either more or less players, because at the moment it's always this 3-2. I haven't seen.
It's not going to work out.
No, it doesn't work because they always send the same amount of players to these sites, and all MYM do is here come 3, and they spawn bomb it. They just throw a couple of players on it. They jump onto that B or the A flag, which seem to be Legionnaires' favourites, and all it did was just be predictable. And being predictable against a team like MYM is not a good strategy.
And you know, the way they were hitting the sites, I mean, you see most of the European teams, it's kind of like we'll send people in from different angles. You know, we'll hit from the front, the back, and both sides at the same time, and try to pincer you in, try to pick up an easy kill from that one, and have obviously draw the attention away from one direction. But the way Legionnaires have been playing, it's just kind of let's just attack from the same area all together, and hope we can pick them up before they kill us. And obviously, you know, when you're on the move, which is always something that is really hard to do. When you're on the move, killing people is really difficult. You're always really vulnerable at that point. And as long as Meteor Makers are sitting there prepared, I mean, you're not going to win out on those duels. So they need to hit from a couple of different angles. They need to make sure you go for these 3-4 pronged attacks, and then they should be able to secure these sites. But then again, they have to be careful. If that site doesn't have, you know, 3-4 people there waiting, then they could get back capped, and that's something that's been happening to them for a majority of this game.
Well, I mean, not just this game, you're right. The first time we saw them at this tournament, there was a big issue where we saw the Legionnaires. Every time that they got a site, they were so happy with the site. They started pushing on towards the next one, starting to expand their horizons, and all it ended up with was they just lost the site they just capped. And it was a huge issue for Legionnaires. They managed to kind of start fixing it by the time their lower bracket game up against MHSV, where, I mean, I don't think it's a surprise that we've now seen Legionnaires on Zavod, Locker. We've seen Locker twice. This is going to be our second Zavod. And, I mean, the fact that we've also seen Locker, this is going to be the third time. Legionnaires have some favorites, and it makes me think that Legionnaires are playing the same maps, the few maps that they feel comfortable on, and if they're playing on the comfortable maps and still struggling, they just need to go home and practice.
Ouch. Ouch. Just go home. Just get out of here.
Get out of here.
Go back to practicing. But, you know, I think we will be going live soon in just a few seconds, just trying to make sure things are sorted out. But I want to see more Legionnaires. Like yesterday, I had them pitted to win against MHSV with the 2-1, but I honestly don't think they can beat Meet Your Makers. If they're able to, they've shown some good signs. Obviously, reducing the biggest scoreline that they've had so far against them for yesterday's games. But we need to see a little bit more out of them. They need to be able to win out on these fights that they're losing on, and Meet Your Makers just seem a little bit too prepared for them.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a case of both. Oh, prep.
All right. I know what you're trying to say. A little bit of prep. That's something that Meet Your Makers did really well.
Attacked by the cough.
It's yep. So I have nothing to say to that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just prep. A lot of time, prep helps out, but not to mention the amount of time these teams have been playing together. Like we heard about Legionnaires, or hearing from Red Eye that they're not really a solid 5. They're a little bit of a mixed team lately, and they're just trying to get to know each other and figure out how each other play.
Yeah, well, while they're figuring each other out, we are going live, I believe, into this one. We'll open up those squads and see where they are heading in the overview as we go into our second half of our first game of the day.
Yes, second half.
See how this one goes. Flax is going to be trying to open up this B site already. It looks like he's actually going to get swarmed, though. Legionnaires, this is something different already. They've heard me. Maybe they took their headphones off and were like, he's right. We need to push us forward. They've done it. They've got that B site, and they're rotating quickly towards C. This is a fantastic start from the Aussies. We'll see how long they can hold on to it.
It's a good start. Let's see if they can maintain it. That's the real question here. Is Meet Your Makers finally going to make their way in towards the C flag? Maybe go for the hit here, and they don't have enough men to actually take this flag here. You see Puto already waiting. Waffy trying to come in from the side. Let's see how they do this attack here, because they can go for B or C if they need.
Oh, look at this. Waffy's having no issues. AEK is so strong at this close range, and all he does is just play the angles, actually. To be fair, it's very much, I don't want to say FPS 101, but it's one of those 101. He knows what he's doing, and he's really strong using this weapon. And as this kind of starts to settle, we see MYM with 2, and it looks like Legionnaires are going to take the consolation prize of A.
Remember, right now, there's not a lot of tickets to work with for Legionnaires. Remember that scoreline is 76 tickets. If they drop below that threshold, then they will have lost out on map number 1, and we will go into the second map on Operation Locker. And, well, they're already 2-1 kept against them. They had a strong start, but a strong start doesn't matter if you can't have a strong finish. And right now, they're kind of struggling currently here in this part of the game. And actually, let's take a little bit of a listen in to the Legionnaires team speak, see how they're doing here.
Good job. He's ripped at the back of C, jungle. Stairs, on the stairs. Nice. Two dead. One on the pit. There's one on... He's ripped, 4 HP. Going on a pass. Spawns up. You guys should need one person in there to stay alive. Spawns mid. Right in front. Want to peek left? Okay. Underpass is ripped. He's flush right. Down. Another one's right, left stairs. Nice stuff. Mid. Guys, cover Wigan. Get on Wigan as soon as you can. Yep. And then get the fuck out of here. They're on A as well. Get up it. We need to go to B. Spotted 2 B. Can you use your cheats with the Magnum? There's 2 on B.
Is that wide? Who was with me?
Nading B.
Well, as you can hear right there, I've learned a new term for knowing that someone's low. Ripped.
Yeah,
something I've learned.
I guess that means tagged, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what we'd be saying.
But I mean, as we saw there, we saw on the screen, even just listening to their team speak, like every time they would attack that C5, they would get just completely ripped. They would get destroyed in that one. And now there's some good calls coming in as they did attack. They kept attacking from the same direction as we saw coming in through that main corridor, that main front door. And yeah, you were able to pick up a kill, but you lost your first man. You were able to get the revive in, and eventually, yeah, they did cap C, but you can't depend on getting so lucky every time.
Yeah, luck does have a lot to do with Legionnaires' game at the moment. The C site is going to be going over. Puto just trying to hold on for as long as he can. Can't Waffy pick that one up quite easily. As the C flag gets kind of captured over by the MYM side, starts flying at their flag once again. It's no surprise that Legionnaires start turning their attention towards B. This time 3 men, 2 men going towards that middle area. It's a nice split from Legionnaires in this case because it's going to try and contain that C rotate. They want to stop them from getting the extra numbers over from the C site to B. We'll see how that works out as they're already charging in. Cryptic is there as well. Waffy on the defensive. Gi goes down, though. This is a good start. They're taking down one member. So 1v1. Mano up against Puto. Puto is not interested as he's trying to help back up Horizon. Horizon gets 2, though. The 93R, a weapon we don't see too many kills with. He picks it up, and that's going to bring the B side under Legionnaires' control, or at least maintain it.
It was a great hold by them, but there's one problem with it. They used every spawn they had to actually get over to that B flag. Now the A site's completely left open here, and Punch was going to be able to secure it. As you can see, less than 10 ticks to go before they will have lost out this first map.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Legionnaires. 10 tickets is all they have left in their arsenal. They cannot afford to die, which is something they've been doing a lot of already. I mean, you can see about 3 or 4 deaths. No, 4 out of the 5 members have died over 7 times. So that's not that great. Still, 107 to 82. They have, what, 4 tickets remaining? It's pretty much game over, and they're going to start looking towards map number 2, which is, of course, going to be Locker. Still, fantastic performance from MYM. They've come into this one with a whole new mindset. They're looking a lot more calm, collected, and I think definitely in map 2, we're going to tune into their TS and see if they are as calm and collected as they look.
And here we go, last couple of tickets, and Legionnaires, I mean, it was a good attempt by them yet again. They're able to get a strong start. They're able to get some sort of grasp over in the middle. But unfortunately, it's just a little bit too big of a lead here for Meechmakers, and that will carry them through into the second map on Operation Locker with a 1-0 lead here. Now Meechmakers are 1 map away from getting through into the semifinals. And as they increase the amount of money they're going to be able to win here, and Legionnaires, they got to do something a little bit different here coming into this map.
Yeah, they need to change something. It's a map we've seen them on before. Last time these 2 teams met on Locker, it was a 96 ticket in favor of MYM at the half. So, I mean, that's a large margin, and I think that's going to be an issue for the MYM side, the Legionnaires side, unless they have reviewed this VOD. I mean, Lauren already said it, they did. They went back to the hotel, they had a look at those VODs because they wanted to maybe work out what went wrong. They had the benefit of knowing we're going up against MYM, we've played them before, what maps do you want to pick? The ones we know. Before we do go any more in detail, or we go into map 2, we're going to throw to a very short break, about, 60 seconds of fun, but we'll be back in just that short period of time. And we're back. How many scout helicopters are there, Jason? That's the question. 2.
Yeah.
Just 2. I didn't realize they were coming to camera.
I didn't know it was going to happen. I'm like, he's going to search it to us. And I don't know what you're doing right now.
I was not prepared. I mean, I haven't even got my jacket. It's hot here in the studio. You can see I'm wearing my just my shirt. Oh, I feel unprepared. I feel naked on camera.
I can hear Pansy laughing out of the corner of my ear right now, actually.
I'm really sorry.
But either way, let's talk about the game. As you do see
that.
Legionnaires on your screen. Looking not as handsome as Alex, unfortunately, because that shirt was very form-fitting.
It is.
Very nice. But either way, Legionnaires, again, coming back into this map. We saw them play against Meechmakers yesterday. 96 tickets for MYM at the end of that first half. They have to, I mean, luckily for them, this is a little bit more of a forgiving map in terms of attacking these flags. Like, for instance, the A flag you could hit from multiple directions, but realistically, you won't have the opportunity to hit from all 4. You most likely will get a good 2 in there, hitting from the north quarter side and, of course, the metal detector side. C flag as well, it's not like you can hit from every different angle. Like, there's literally a point where it's out of bounds and you can't come in from that north side of C. So you have to kind of push in from one area, and hopefully for Legionnaires' sake, they feel really on par with their aim, because they're going to have to really depend on that if they want to cap that C flag or even A.
Yeah, you're spot on. I think A is going to be a real, it's going to be a real issue for them. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to control A. Last time, of course, we saw Legionnaires struggle to maintain it every time they came through the snake bend, every time they tried to find a way. And obviously, there's about three entrances into A. There's a lot more to B, and about 3 entrances into C. I'm saying about, but it's actually exactly 3. But so yeah, there's a limited pushes, and I think that's not really in favor of Legionnaires. In Zavod, of course, they have so many different options, and not the case here on this one. So I mean, even though they lost Zavod, they had a lot more flexibility than they do on this map, and I think that's something Legionnaires may struggle with. Still,
we're going to find out.
On your screen, you can see Horizon, Wigging, Putto, Chus, and Cryptic. And on the MYM side of things, Waffy, Flax, Sayo, Punchroll, and Ducky.
All right, well, we'll be kicking this one off here in just a few seconds. I'm actually curious to see what they're going to be going for in the beginning, as I'm expecting on the Legionnaires side to go for maybe like a 2-3 split. We've seen, actually, sorry, 3-2 split, 3 towards A, 2 towards C, because that's what we typically see out of teams here on this map.
All right, let's get going. It's 150 to 150. That's what they've got to bring it down. We see Legionnaires going for this once again. Oh, God, it's going to be a repeat of history if Punchroll plays this anything like I expect him to. It's a 1v2. It's a 1v2 he's won multiple times. His teammates come out to back him up. I believe it's Sayo making it a 2v2, favoring the numbers. Lands a tag, trying to make more of it. Can't quite do that just yet, but he's already got his body on the flag. He's going to be capping that one over. Putto has gone down in the meantime. And you can see actually Legionnaires' bodies are littering the corridor. Ducky's made his way into the infirmary as well. And it looks like MYM is starting to brew a quick trip cap.
This is a fantastic start by MYM. They haven't lost a single ticket just yet. The back respawns come in for Legionnaires, though, looking to actually cap this B flag, which they should be able to. But look at this, Horizon go for the attack order onto A, but they haven't capped B over just yet. Why are they kind of getting ahead of themselves and they finally just switch it over? Actually, not to MYM side, trying to lock that one down. They need to cap a flag. They need to cap it soon because they don't have a single thing to their name.
Yeah, they're looking pretty bare right now. And I mean, you don't want a repeat of Zavod. You do not want to see Legionnaires out in 2. They cannot afford to have any sort of lead, MYM. To let MYM, sorry, have any sort of lead going into the second half, or at least a great one. Considering MYM have only lost 1 ticket, though, it looks like it may be going that way. They have the AC hold, B the only one in contention, and that's about to turn blue. And now Legionnaires back to the drawing board, look to be pushing in on towards this A site. Wiggin heading through that smoke. He's got a big, big mountain ahead of him. He's trying to climb it. He does get the frag he needs to as Flax falls, and that's going to kind of finally start the Australian flag on that A site, but we'll see how much they can make of this mid-push.
Let's just take a little bit of a listen with Beachmaker's comms really quickly. Just kind of hear exactly what's going through their minds.
One toilet.
One more. B gate. Middle cell.
They're on C flag. Toilets and upper B, upper B, upper B. Oh, upper B, 2 upper B.
Upper B. Got 1.
2 upper B.
1 more. Upper 8. 2 more. Crip. What the fuck? Got the fucking console.
Got A. Going for security. I don't see anyone on A.
10 HP upper B. I go for C. I go for C.
One security.
One C gate. 10 HP.
There's one secure.
One on A, one on A. 2 C gate, I think.
Or shall skinny, Flux? Yeah, inside skinny, 2 inside skinny.
I was going to hear it's still really calm within their camp. They're still just kind of making concise calls, trying to exactly spot out where they're going to be going. I want to see where they are in these flags. And look at this, a little bit of push coming in Legionnaires. They're going to successfully take this A flag here. They have B as well. They're forcing Beachmakers to play from the outside. They can play from the cold. And if they can maintain this, this would be really perfect kind of situation to be in at the end of the first half.
Really, this is a great position. This is a hold that me and you are big fans of. The AB hold is something that can really, really work to your advantage and give you a long, extended hold if you don't let them in. It looks like Putto's already done that. His body is now hit the cold, hard stone of locker floor. Looks like another one's going to join him. It was Horizon. He's gone down. The B flag's been capped over already by Flax. And Legionnaires, they have to go into response mode. Wiggin has an idea. He knows that he's got to head into the bright light. Not going to happen instead. He's going to push around the corner, look to get the frag onto Ducky, trying to find another one. Walks towards a different line. His E goes down. And now B and C still flying for MYM. They're going to start ticking away already, and Legionnaires cannot afford to let this last.
I feel like Legionnaires just making them question themselves. Like, I think it was Horizon was kind of sitting towards C, and he was sitting towards B as well, and he wanted to go out towards C. Like, you could see him starting to walk towards it, but then someone made a call, said, no, hit B instead. He ends up paying the price, ended up going down from that one. And I'm not sure. I think Legionnaires' calls might just be a little bit not random, but the caller, I don't think he feels confident right now in what they're doing.
Yeah, and confidence is key. As cheesy as it may sound, we'll see. So,
it ain't easy.
Trying to get the frags on Infirmary. Does one actually? That's a surprise. Horizon's the man to pick up the frags though for the Legionnaires side of things. Punctual making his move once again onto B. It's strange to see Punctual so alone and so unengaged in combat, but he's here for the win. And MYM, they want to progress through this lower bracket. They're not happy to be here in the first place. Epsilon bested them in the upper bracket, and here they are fighting to clear their name and maybe even meet Epsilon again. They want to kind of get back to that. We'll see how far they can get. Well, first they've got to climb Legionnaires. Climb Legionnaires? Climb over Legionnaires as the Chus trying to maintain it, but looks like Ducky's got a different route.
One thing we need to keep in mind is the winner of this game plays Fnatic.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is already a hard game for Legionnaires, but then to go up against Fnatic, who looked so on point yesterday, would be even more difficult here. But Ducky Chan, I still pick up right there on the A flag. It will allow them to pick up a tri-cap here, it seems. And right now, Meat Makers, I think they're already thinking ahead to the next game. They're already looking at Fnatic and just kind of have that game in their minds. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think they're looking towards it. MYM shouldn't, though. I mean, this is something we were talking about on the desk. Me and Paul, we were saying how when you get to that mindset, like, we've already won this, that's usually where the mistakes and the surprises happen. They're trying to avoid that. MYM, you heard their comms when we tuned into them. They were still chill. They were not talking about the next game. They were not even thinking about the next game because they have not won this one yet. Yes, they have the first map under their belt. We're into map 2. Legionnaires are looking a little shaky, actually, in all honesty. But they're still making all the right moves. Chus. He's capping over towards that C-flag. We'll see if it lasts. Looks like it's not going to. Surely not. Chus is in a 1v2. It's just a pipe dream. He goes down to Flax. Big plays from him. And Punctual just seems to make any site he wants his own.
And it looks like another tri-cut coming in for a split second as we do see B being turned over to the side of Legionnaires, though. But Seo, he has something to say about it. He's up towards the top side. He's looking for some kills. He's got a couple men under him.
Oh, he's looking for a second already. Adds another head to his belt, and he's going to actually drop the med kit. It's interesting to see how they've resorted to the new med kit. Well, sorry, the old med kit. Since the recent changes to regeneration speed.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams using the first aid kits now.
It's odd, yeah.
A lot of teams like forget to pick it up as well because they're used to like just the aura kind of healing from the med kit.
It's a different playstyle, and it's nice to see both new maps and new playstyles emerging. You can see he's actually using his health kit quite well, standing on it for a little bit, getting that regeneration. You can see it's ticking up already. And now the trip cap is lasting a little longer this time. Legionnaires are going to be struggling as the last couple of tickets are falling away. 106-5 Legionnaires. This is a precedent that they were trying to avoid. And when you have this level, this threshold to beat in the second half, it's a little bit too much, I think, especially for a team like Legionnaires who've been having issues already with thresholds a lot lower than this.
So they went from having a first half score on the first map of being the lowest lead that Meat Makers were able to build up against them, and then they go to the first half of the second map and give them the biggest lead that they've had against them. So really unfortunate for Legionnaires. Obviously, you can see they're kind of not prepared for their Operation Locker, not really prepared for the damage that Seo can do at 15-5, that Ducky Chan at 12-6 can do, and even Wathi at 10-6, and Punctual at 8-5. A little sad, a little disappointed in him. I mean, he's kind of like one of the key players to watch, him and Ducky Chan on the side of Meat Makers, and yet he's been kind of forced to play a little bit more of a defensive role, so he's not really picking up these big frags.
You say that, but every time we cut to Punctual, he was making sure that the C flag wasn't kept over. He probably single-handedly did the job of probably 2-3 men. If it was any other team, they'd say 2, 3, go defend C. Instead, they were like, Punctual, get C. And every time he did it, no matter what they said or did, Legionnaires, I think the most I saw them was pushing 4 men through, attempting to get onto it, and just Seo and Punctual, well, I was about to say single-handedly, but four-handedly, because there was 4 hands, they have 4 hands, managed to defend C.
I was going to be kicking off the second half here in just a few minutes here, guys, and obviously you can still get your votes in at esl-one.com/battlefield and let us know who you think's going to win. Obviously, you guys can win some lovely prize. I think Paul said earlier on, no one has 100% prediction rate anymore, which I had up to the infamous game versus PKD, where I had PKD winning 2-0, so I guess I'm one of those people.
I think probably the main surprise was a lot of people supporting MHSV over Legionnaires, I'd say. People not expecting too much from Legionnaires, but they've proven them wrong. They've cleared their name, and they've also proved that Australia do have fighting spirit. There's no doubt about that. We definitely go into their TS and see how they... how they're approaching this last half, because I mean, this could be the very last game for them at the ESL One. You can see very calm faces on both sides of things. MYM want to get this one done. They want to get it done in 2, but still, Putto, he's the captain for the team. He was saying that they're really just enjoying the experience, and I think rightfully so. But as we hit 10 seconds, guys, this is make or break for Legionnaires. This could very well be the very last game of Battlefield they play before they fly off back to Australia. They want to fight that back. They want to go back to that third map. They want to get there. They want to see Siege of Shanghai one last time. But still, we've got to get over this one first.
Yeah, we're going to actually kick off with their comms right away here just to hear how they're kind of kicking this game. Because we never really turned into comms right in the beginning.
One up top, one up top. Can't see anything.
This nade's so dog shit.
I'm just going outside.
One down outside.
Down outside. One more. Didn't even get capped. There's one outside.
Oh, I just...
No, he got me. God damn.
He's in mid bay. We pushing C or what?
Well, I can't get outside because he's still watching it, so we need to like... Oh, I just walked into getting sprayed.
There's one S-bend.
Running.
He's on that
Don't
C
run
hill.
up, don't run up.
Yeah.
On the C rock.
I'm stuck.
They're finally on C.
Is there anything S-bend?
Yeah, there was one guy.
Getting smoked out at
Yeah.
On
He's,
S-bend?
he's back.
Same
S-bend.
He's hit.
You can just hear the defeat in their voices.
It sounds...
Like, you can tell they've given up already.
It's really sad, because, I mean, you cut into that TS even yesterday, or even probably in that first game, they were so cheery. They were like, go on, let's go, boys. They were saying ripped a lot more. This, obviously, they're not tagging anyone.
I didn't hear one ripped.
No, they're obviously not tagging anyone. That's the problem. But they have been given that consolation prize of B, and that shows MYM not getting greedy, not going for the trip cap, which can, of course, end the game quicker, but it can also be a risk that MYM are not willing to take. Seo trying to position himself quite nicely. That's an angle we don't so often see, actually. It's going to work quite well as he's trying to keep this infirmary safe, but you can see already Legionnaires getting dangerously close to 106.
We have 20 tickets to go, and right now, Makers are 20 tickets away from going up against Fnatic in the first semifinal. Or in the semifinal. I don't know if it's actually the first one coming into this, but either way, Makers have played phenomenally, and we're seeing Legionnaires try to respond. Yeah, they have the B5. They're trying to cap C, but they get taken out. 4 men were trying to attack C. And they got taken down by 2 out of Makers.
This is what I was talking about, that 2-man defense that MYM seem to be favoring. It keeps C safe, but they also don't have to overcommit numbers. It's worked, and look what Legionnaires have been resorted to. They've been forced way back. It's already 115. It looks to be closing out already. The trip cap just to rub salt into the wound. The Aussies are going home.
They tried so hard, but unfortunately for them in the end, it really just didn't matter for them. They practiced so hard yesterday, and they just kind of got shut down. I mean, I feel really bad for them because they were, obviously they were a team who was able to finally break through past where Vox was last season. But then they get into this, they get put against Makers twice, and they get just shut out every time against them.
Yeah, it's a real shame, actually. I'm not sure how they're going to be feeling. I think they weren't expecting to take that one, but they were hoping that it may or may not be a surprise. I was hoping to see a third map. Obviously, Siege of Shanghai was going to be that if we got there. But no, fantastic work from MYM that now they have to look towards the future. It's going to be Fnatic.
And one thing, yeah, exactly. That's what we should talk about now is Fnatic. How is that game going to go here coming into this? Because obviously Fnatic looked so strong yesterday. They looked almost unstoppable. They almost looked back to their previous form of back in that summer split where they dropped nothing. They didn't drop a single map in the finals, and they didn't drop a single cup in the season.
Yeah, they looked fantastic up against SK. That was impressive to me as well, seeing how they played against, well, the top seed. SK are the best team on paper coming into this one. Fnatic, though, and once they hit that offline environment, seem to just step it up a gear that SK couldn't keep up with yesterday. We'll see if MYM can match their pace. It'll be interesting to find out. As we just see MYM waiting once again for the...
Again, it looked like just another day at work for them. I mean, just look at the scores alone they've had. They had 85 on Dawnbreaker the first time they met, 96 on Operation Locker, 76 on Zavod, 106 on Locker against them the second time. Like, those are scorelines...
It's a scary scoreline, yeah.
Those are scorelines you get in, like, the first round of a cup, or maybe even the second round of a cup. Those aren't, like, scores you get in the finals, you know.
But the question I have to raise is, do you think Fnatic have been fully challenged yet? Do you think Epsilon...
No.
I'm talking nonsense. SK, sorry.
No, I mean, just look at the scores. I mean, Fnatic versus SK, it was 69 tickets in the first map, and that was with the weird crash that we have happen, and then, of course, 89 in the second time on Dawnbreaker. I mean, there's no way they've been challenged, and there hasn't been a team across the last 2 seasons that have been able to challenge Fnatic, and we're expecting teams to finally be able to this season because they, took it really laid back and lax, but they come to the offline playoffs and they're more prepared than ever.
Well, let's see if that preparation is going to pay off. We've got a post-match interview now with Waffy.
Thank you. Congratulations, MYM, safely through to the semi-finals, and I guess that's what you would have expected to have achieved at the very least. But was it a difficult match? Was it a boring match? Was it? How would you summarise playing against the Australian team?
Well, basically, we never played them before, so we didn't want to underestimate anything they did. So we just played our standard game and just went for the win. Just played the flags, went for the win.
just to kind of try and keep everything straightforward, not take anything crazy risks or new maps or anything like that?
Yeah, the problem with like teams you think you're gonna win when you're overconfident is you go too aggressive, you go for the frags instead of the flags. But we just played the flag game and just went for the win, as I said.
Okay. Looking forward to the semi-finals. It's Fnatic next. Tough opposition as always. They've proved to be champions in the last 2 seasons. How do you approach that? Because I know that mentally it's difficult to play a team that are so good like that. So how do you deal with that?
It's all about focus and determination to win. Yesterday, I don't think we were very focused. We thought we were going to beat Epsilon, and we went into that game way too relaxed, and we got punished for it. So against Fnatic, we can't make the same mistake. And of course, they're 2-time champions. They're very good at LAN, so it's going to be a really tough match.
Yeah, I think all the rumours doing the rounds about them not practicing and not playing much, I think we kind of forget that now after watching what they did yesterday. In terms of the lineup changes, you yourself obviously weren't in Cologne. We had Seo coming in for you in Cologne, and then now you're back and you've got Seo back in the line. Safe's obviously left. How has that changed the dynamic within the team?
Safe was always the shouter, as the UCaster guys have always said, but we felt his playstyle wasn't really working anymore for various reasons, and we're still friends, but we made the lineup changes. We think it's working much better, but now we have to prove it.
Yeah, all down to the proof in the pudding against Fnatic. So good luck in the semi-finals. MYM have won the elimination game. It does mean, of course, that we say goodbye to our friends from Australia, but they have given us some wonderful memories on day 1 of ESL One in 2014. Next game is another elimination match. It's time to find out whether Infamous can step up their game against SK Gaming. It's after the break.